Hello, everybody, and welcome out to Lone Peak High School here in Highland, Utah, as we get ready for varsity girls basketball between the Lone Peak Knights and the West Jordan Jaguars. I'm Nate Thatcher. I'm your play-by-play announcer tonight for KSL Sports Rewind. Lone Peak coming in here at 2-1, while the Jaguars looking to gain their first win at 0-2, but they've been competitive in both of their contests for most of the game until letting up. This is going to be a good one as we see the three-peat state champs looking to defend home court against the incoming Jaguars. As we have tip-off right now, and it is won by Lone Peak. Starting for the Knights, we have Charlie Warner as Woolston drives down and is fouled for a layup. As I mentioned, Charlie Warner will be starting tonight for the Knights, along Tati Harness, Zuri Nordstrom, Lavi Holdcraft, and Kennedy Woolston. Woolston at the line for two. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars on the other side, they'll be starting Marley Rupena, Giselle Muffet, Francine McIntyre, Erilyn Lokeni, and Tofi De La Serna under first-year head coach Julianne Tia Lavea. And both of the free throws are good to go by Woolston. She's going to be the player to watch in tonight's contest. Comes from a family of hoopers. As the Jaguars are passing the ball, cross-court pass will be no good, and it goes back to the Knights. As I mentioned, Kennedy Woolston, she's the younger sister of Kaylee Woolston, who's currently on the roster just a few miles down south at BYU. And Kennedy's having a hot start to the year. She's shooting 45% from three and 52% overall from the floor as the Jaguars get a good steal that time by De La Serna. And she'll take it up the court for West Jordan as they currently trail 2-0 in the first quarter. And now it'll be inbounded down low.
Foul committed by number 13, Zuri Nordstrom. English person.
Excuse me, that'll be free throws for West Jordan. And the first one is up and good. De La Serna at the line, as the foul that time went against Zuri Nordstrom. Only gets one to go. Quick three down the lane, no good. And the Jaguars get the rebound.
Out of bounds, Jaguars ball.
And a little bit of tussle here in action. Jaguars will keep it. As I mentioned, they've been competitive for most of their games until they've just had a drop-off in one of the three quarters. Just came off a loss to Mountain Crest. But the big difference, they were held scoreless in the second as Muffet gets the three from the top of the key to go down. And an early timeout now by Lone Peak. We'll take it with them. This is KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back out here to Highland, Utah, as Lone Peak took an early timeout after a Muffet three-pointer from the top of the key. Clearly, Coach Nancy Warner not liking what she's seeing so far in these early minutes here of this contest. Let's see if Lone Peak can readjust and regain the lead. Nordstrom looking around, right wing, down low to Woolston. She's going to take it back up. Driving that time was Harness. Now they're kicking it around. Woolston, great first step. Kicks it back out a little bit too high for Nordstrom, but no mind. She'll take it with the right hand. No good. Woolston the rebound. Can't get that to go. Back over to West Jordan. Being pursued in transition. Corner three up off the side of the rim. No good. Missed three that time by De La Serna. As Lone Peak gets some great passes in transition, and the left-handed layup is up and good. That time, Lavi Holdcraft gets her first points of the night. Now here come the Jaguars. Rupena. She's getting contested up top. Driving it right side, now cross court over to Muffet. She's the player to watch. Behind the back, pass out to the left side. A three again for De La Serna. No good that time. A fight for the rebound. Looks like it's going to be a foul that time against Marley Rupena against Woolston. It's going to go the Knights' way. Jaguars actually have been struggling a little bit from the three-point line, currently shooting 26% on the season. But they do like to shoot it from the perimeter. Currently at a tied contest, just under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Here comes Lone Peak. And that time the shot is no good. Pass it outside, three-pointer up off back rim. Also no good. West Jordan tries to save it. That time it was Lokeni trying to just pass it backwards. Can't get it quite back off her feet. It'll stay here with the Knights on their side of the court. Nordstrom looking to inbound. Woolston drives baseline. It's tipped, and it's going to stay here with the Knights. Great defensive effort that time by Rupena, and she read that pass the entire way. Coach Warner calling out the play from the other side of the court. Looks like they're running the same play. Woolston driving baseline, but now cutting up to the top of the key this time is Harness. She's coming off of her best game of the season. Woolston, three in the corner, up and around, no good. Muffet, she gets the rebound, and look at her go in transition. Pushing left side, goes to her left hand, a toss up underneath, and gets it to go. Muffet having a fantastic first quarter, no doubt. She is the star player for the Jaguars. Now Lone Peak has to regain themselves. Woolston clearly getting some good looks, but not getting anything to go. Charlie Warner will take a deep three, and she'll get it to go. The Knights get a good perimeter shot that time from Charlie Warner. Freshman guard is averaging 5 points a game coming into this contest. Now Rupena gets down low to Lokeni. Lokeni's going to try and get it back out to McIntyre, and we've got a travel and a turnover.
Checking in for the Knights, double zero, Huni Folau.
Now coming in for the game is Huni Folau, also freshman guard, who's averaging 1.5 points per game. She's also coming off of her best game of the season. Folau's got it. They're passing it around. Warner gets it over into the right corner, and they're trying to get it back out. Woolston tries to save it. It's off of a Jaguar, but now Muffet grabs it. She's on the left wing. She's going to hold up and let them start the offense once again. Now it's Lokeni. Lokeni tries to get a cross-court pass to De La Serna and gets it. Muffet's going to set up the offense. Tried to get a screen, but it was read beautifully that time by Woolston. Great defensive effort. And looks like it was going to be tipped off of Holau. Might have been off the foot. They didn't call it. She's going to take a running jumper. No good. She gets her own rebound and gets it up to go. The effort right now by the Jaguars is fun to watch as they now regain the lead 8-7 against the Knights. And a crazy shot that time is up and no good, but she'll be fouled. And that'll be Tati Harness at the line.
Foul committed by number 21, Toby De La Serna.
Tati Harness is playing a great season so far in their first three contests, averaging 16 points. She's also the team leader in assists and steals, so you'll hear her name a lot tonight as she'll be around on the court in all facets. So she can't get the first one to go. Lone Peak coming off of an incredible season. They've now won 3 state championships in the last 3 seasons, and that all has to be attributed to head coach Nancy Warner, who's in her 12th season here with the Knights. She's has a long record. She's been rumored to go to head coaching positions in the NCAA ranks, but staying here with the Knights and making the most out of her time as the rebound's fought for her. And it'll be a jump ball. Staying with the Jaguars. So our score remains the same, 8-7, a lead for the West Jordan Jaguars. As I mentioned multiple times before, they've stayed competitive in a lot of their contests. It's just trying to find that consistency in a single quarter to keep it all the way through that can hold them on. And if they get this win, it would be huge as Muffet's going to drive, and now she's going to get a foul against Woolston. Lone Peak clearly going to be one of the favorites to maybe even four-peat in this year's 6A girls basketball here in the state of Utah. But West Jordan, I mean, they're coming in here with first-year head coach Julianne Tialavea, one of the 4 new head coaches in 5A Utah girls basketball, as Muffet gets the first one to drop. But they've got a good group of girls that are looking to be competitive in all their games and clearly get some wins, as West Jordan now increases their lead to 10-7. Now here come the Knights. Harness dishing it down low. Holdcraft finds Woolston, who's making a great move to her right side, and she's going to be fouled, but it will be before the shot. Looks to be on De La Serna.
Checking in for the Jaguars, number 15,
Lokeni will come in for De La Serna. He put in some good minutes here in this opening quarter. Knights line up in a row and then spread out across the court as Woolston gets an easy 2 on the left side of the bucket. Decreases that deficit to 1. Great inbounds play that time by the Knights. Now here come the Jaguars. Going across all parts of the defense. That time was Rupena. She can't get it to go, but then it's off the feet of the Knights and it'll stay here with the Jaguars. So Lone Peak finding some early struggles here, and the Jaguars looking to capitalize. Close contest right now. It's a West Jordan 1-point lead. They're looking to inbound. Waits. It's tipped. It's stolen. Tipped back once again, and now it'll be off of the Jaguars and back over to the Knights. So great defensive possession that time. They had a hard time inbounding it from baseline. Knights looking to capitalize, try and regain a lead and hopefully keep it. Folau's trying to go around. She finds Woolston, clearly the star of the Knights' offense so far with an early 4 points. But a turnover will not help their cause. Both teams playing very physical right now, as Woolston will come out and Zuri Nordstrom will check in for Lone Peak. The Knights are a balanced team, but they clearly have their stars and are looking to get them involved early on. For the Jaguars, it's all Giselle Muffet right now, and that's no change from how it's been this season. The 3 is tipped on every side of that basket, but Rupena can't get it to go. The Knights will control the rebound. Lone Peak going fast in transition. Folau cuts to her left, dishes it back outside. It's Harness. She doesn't want it. She passes it to her teammate, Maddie Pope. She can't get it. Muffet on the rebound. She's in transition now. She's looking to go 1 versus 3, and she cuts through, falls down. No foul called with a lot of contact. And it's going to be the Knights basketball, so the ref's letting them play a little bit here. More subs coming into the game now. Andrea Tagovailoa is coming in for the Jaguars. Now here comes Harness. Harness dishes it off to Pope. Knights going around in a circle. Folau going back to Harness. She'll pump fake a 3 and then take a right post jumper that's no good, but they control their own rebound. Folau, another mid-range. Tickles the twine. And Lone Peak will get a quick 2 to regain the lead 11-10 with just under a minute and a half here in the first quarter. Ball once again going off the feet of the Jaguars. They'll regain control, but pass goes wild. It was intended that time for Francine McIntyre, but she can't control. And it'll go back to the Knights. So a lot of turnovers early right now for both teams. Lone Peak averages just under 11 a game, and they're looking to match that early right now. But let's see if they can change that fate. Knights in the half court. Woolston gets a nice easy jumper from the free throw line, but she can't get it to go. Rebounds being fought for. And it's going to be a jump ball, and I believe that'll stay here with the Knights. That time, Erilyn Lokeni's just fighting off 4 Knights trying to keep that ball to herself. But it's going to go the jump's way and stay here with Lone Peak. So they've had a lot of different sets they pulled here out of baseline. Woolston for 3 and gets it to go. It was only a matter of time before she got going from the outside. Now Lone Peak up 14-10. And now the Jaguars are looking to keep things going. Try and retake what has been a majority of the time their lead here in this opening quarter. Muffet now going left. Highly contested by Woolston, who switches on to Rupena. Rupena finds a wall of defenders, but she picked up her feet trying to get the shot off, and it's going to be another turnover for West Jordan. So the shot clock is off now for the Knights as they'll look to take the last shot here in the first quarter and extend on their already biggest lead of the game here at 14-10. Folau's looking to set it up. She'll get a screen from Woolston. Woolston was trying to get a flare shot off the right side, but it's controlled by West Jordan in transition. Clock's ticking down, and they can't realize that the clock is ticking down and a shot won't get off, and that is how we'll end this first quarter. It's the Lone Peak Knights 14 and the West Jordan Jaguars 10. We'll see you here in the second quarter. And welcome back out here to Lone Peak High School as we get ready for the second quarter, as the Knights currently lead the West Jordan Jaguars 14-10. Lone Peak and West Jordan both battled their own turnover battles, but they also look to get their stars going early. Obviously for the Knights, that's going to be Kennedy Woolston. Sorry, Kaylee's the older sister. And for the Jaguars, it's all Giselle Muffet. She averages over 20 points a game, and right now she has an early 7. Shot is no good that time for the Jaguars. Lone Peak looks to push in transition. Long pass from Woolston, and the left-hand layup no good that time by Harness. Another fight for the basketball, and we'll have a foul down low that time. It's going to be called on Zuri Nordstrom as she dove for the basketball over Muffet. Giselle Muffet's the only returning starter from the 2023 squad of the Jaguars, and she leads the team in every statistical category except anything regarding rebounds and blocks. Now that's something that has to be applauded for anyone who loves this game. Just absolute leadership from Giselle. She can't get that bucket to go. Lone Peak, once again, great pass in transition. Woolston tries to get a soft hand, right-hand layup to go, but just can't get it to drop. Now the Knights currently coming off of a win at Layton, where Woolston dropped just a cool 26 points, no big deal. But Tati Harness got going with 20 points as well. They've been shooting the ball really well, and a lot of their field goals have been assisted, which shows that they're moving the basketball well and taking smart shots across the board, as the Jaguars looking to cut into this 4-point lead that hasn't been touched yet here in this second quarter. Giselle's looking to get a screen. She can't fight off Tati. And now Rupena, foot on the line, thought about a 3. Instead, she'll pass it down low, but it's stolen away from the Knights. Lone Peak, such a fast team in transition. Great ball movement. Woolston will fake the 3, but she didn't keep track of her feet, and she traveled. That's something that a lot of players in today's game are having trouble with, as the 3-point line has been more of a necessity, I guess you could say, in today's game. And Woolston's no exception. She's shooting 45%, just alongside Muffet this season from outside the arc. Long court pass is able to be corralled that time by McIntyre. She gives it over to Giselle. Muffet gives it up to Rupena. She'll get the screen. Deep 2, right side. Rattles the bucket and gets it to go down. West Jordan knows what they want on offense, and it's clear it's just going to be some pick and pop. Woolston can't get the 3 to go. Dive again for the basketball, and it looks like it's going to go West Jordan's way as Harness tried to go after it. Couldn't get it to go, but it looks like Lone Peak will take a timeout here in the second quarter. We'll take a quick one with them. This is KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back into a Friday night edition of KSL Sports Rewind for girls varsity basketball here between the Lone Peak Knights and the West Jordan Jaguars. West Jordan was able to hold the lead for most of the first quarter, as they've lost it closer towards the end of the first and here at the beginning of the second as the Knights gain control 14-12. Both of these teams are looking to get their MVPs going. It's Kennedy Woolston with a quick 7 and Giselle Muffet also with 7 points. West Jordan going across. Rupena puts some nice moves and gets another deep 2 to go from just inside the top of the key. Marley Rupena has had some stellar shots, and she's got some quick moves up top. She's averaging 8 points a game, and she has an early 6 here against one of the best teams in the state. Lone Peak can't get the deep 3 to go from the corner, but no mind. It'll be Charlie Warner who tries again from mid-range but just can't get it to go. De La Serna got a quick pass from Muffet, but it looked like she was thinking about whether to pass or take it herself. She couldn't decide, and she picked up the basketball and traveled. So it'll go back to the Knights, who are now facing a tied game at 14 apiece. A lot of missed shots right now from both squads. It's really West Jordan that's facing this turnover battle right now, and it's the Knights that are getting a lot of open looks but just can't find the bottom of the net. Folau's going to take a high three and finds the bottom of the net. Just as I mentioned, they weren't able to do it. They get it to go there and regain the lead 17-14. Quick foul that time by Harness. And they're playing a lot of high press as they'll back off to Coach Warner's instruction. Coming in for the game for the Knights, it'll be Maddie Pope, the freshman guard. She's averaging 6.3 a game. But let's see if West Jordan can try and either cut this to a one-point game or tie it up again at 17. Muffet will take a right wing three. That time no good. Knights once again moving fast in transition. Pope banks it off the glass and gets it to go. Lone Peak starting to find their stride now as they increase that lead to 6. And once again, turnovers plaguing the Jaguars right now. And Rapena, you can just see it in her face. She knows she can do better than that. Jaguars coming off of a 68-53 loss to Mountain Crest, where, as I mentioned earlier in this game, they were held scoreless in the second quarter. Muffet dropped a cool 23 points, with McIntyre dropping 9. Their field goal percentage is getting better and better by each game, and it looks to be the same in this one, but it's turnovers that are plaguing them so far in this contest. Knights can't get a bunny to go from the right side, so they'll look to try and get it right here. A steal in transition. It's Harness, right side. And she'll be fouled by Marley Rapena, and she'll be able to go to the stripe to earn her free throws for the second time this evening. Knights are looking to push early and fast, as they've been causing this Jaguars offense to be stagnant if they don't get a quick shot off from either perimeter or the deep 2 zone. As Harness able to add 1 point to their total. Knights are averaging 62 points a game, which is just shy of what they averaged last year, as the second free throw is no good. They were number 1 in 6A last year, averaging 64 points a game. Knights regain. Woolston with a spin like you have never seen off of the right side. She gets it to go down. And now it's a 9-point game, and West Jordan's going to have to figure things out as Lone Peak's going to keep that full court press going. Speaking of the Knights' defense, they were number 5 last year in 6A, as Muffet tries to get that same shot off that right side. She gets fouled once again, but the Knights are a really good team. They're a solid team. I mean, you can expect nothing less from a three-peat state champion. And they're looking to do some of the same things here in 2024-2025. As Muffet gets it to circle around the rim and down.
Charlie Warner and Robbie Holcraft check in for the Knights.
Muffet gets both to drop, and that'll take this down to a 7-point game. She now has 9 in this contest. Pope out to the corner. Woolston fakes a 3, then she'll take it once again. No good. Rebound is fought for. It looked like some feet were on baseline. Nothing was called. And West Jordan will control. Now De La Serna is going to be in transition. She's moving it around, but she picks up her dribble back up to Muffet. Now you have star on star. Muffet out to the corner, and the pass that time won't be corralled. It's going to go back to the Knights' way. Rita Tavita can't haul it in the far right corner. And she'll be subbed out by Caitlin Lokeny.
She replaces number 1, Charlie Warner.
Now, Huni Folau takes it up. She's a member of the Tongan national team, so you know that she can play ball. She passes it over to Woolston. Far right corner. Three-pointer, good to go. As Lone Peak now increases their lead to double digits. Now clearly we've got some high press man as McIntyre tries to get a layup to go. That time it's no good. Knights controlling their defense right now and clearly looking to push once again. On the move, Woolston finds spin, and it looked like a globe just going around the rim, but just can't find the bottom of the net. She really likes going to that right hand underneath the basket.
Timeout on the floor.
And it looks like another timeout will be called. We'll take it with them. This is KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back into KSL Sports Rewind here at Lone Peak High School. Lone Peak is an early favorite, as they always are these last few seasons, coming off of a three-peat state championship win. They went 19-6 in 2023-2024, undefeated in region play, and they defeated the other favorite for this year, Copper Hills, in the state championship with an astounding 65-47 win. So this team has a lot of experience winning games, and they're looking to keep more of the same as Muffet is high pressed up at half court. And it's a lot of double zone right now, but Muffet's able to find a weak crease. She just can't get the layup to go. Wide open in transition. Maddie Pope, right side, gets it. And Lone Peak just increasing their lead by doing what they do best, playing fast and playing well with smart shots. They're finally finding the bottom of the net. McIntyre, she'll take a quick deep two off left side. In and out, no good. And the Jaguars were looking to have that as they've just seemed to kind of lose steam right now in the second quarter. Somewhat of a theme so far in their first two games of the year.
For the Jaguars, number 0, Marley Rupenna.
High press once again from the Knights. Muffet's over there on the right wing. She passes it off of the Knights logo. Rupenna, she'll take a right-handed three off back iron, no good. Slips over to the Knights. It's Holdcraft. She finds Woolston. Bounce pass to the corner to Harness. Weaving around this defense, but a perfect block that time by Erin Lokenny. Jaguars look to get a cross-court pass, but they can't get it. Pope once again in transition. Dish out to Harness for three. It's good. And Lone Peak is firing on absolutely all cylinders right now on the offensive side of the ball as they lead it 31-16. West Jordan once again a turnover, but trying to push it fast in transition hurt the Knights that time as Folau couldn't find Holdcraft underneath the basket. So now it's almost a doubled score lead as the Knights lead at 31-16, and they're playing high press defense, and it's working, although the foul will be called against the Knights. They're looking to make things really tough for the Jaguars. Early on, it was West Jordan that was able to set things up in half court, moving things through their star Muffet, but they've been held to a very low point total here in the second quarter, and that's all due to this Knights' aggressive defense. About a 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And McIntyre trying to get it to one of her teammates, but it's tipped and not able to be scored upon in transition as Holdcraft couldn't get it to fall down. Jaguars looking to push, and it'll be that same Lavi Holdcraft who will foul.
Foul committed by number 21, Lavi Holdcraft.
Miley Rupain is at the line. She's a very active player. You can see in stats across the board this season. She likes to be involved as she gets the first one to go from the charity stripe. But one of the things that she does commit is early foul trouble. She's got a quick 2 right now in this first half. But she gets both of her free throws to go down and that increases her point total to 8, just right behind Muffet. 10 seconds left. Knights looking to get that last shot in. It's Harness. She's quickly double teamed, but Woolston takes a deep three, and it's no good. Fight for the rebound goes to the Jaguars, but that'll do it here for the first half. It's the Lone Peak Knights having a stellar second quarter and taking a 31-18 lead as we head into halftime. We'll be back here with a halftime performance in just a few minutes. Hello everybody and welcome back into our Friday night edition of KSL Sports Rewind. I'm Nate Thatcher as we get ready to call the second half of the Lone Peak Knights versus the West Jordan Jaguars. It was a competitive first quarter for both of these squads, but it was the Lone Peak Knights, the current three-peat state champions, who found a little bit of separation there in that second quarter as they were able to gain this 13-point lead that we currently see in the second half. The Knights and the Jaguars both were able to find their stars early on in Kennedy Woolston and Giselle Muffet. But it was the Knights that were able to find scoring across the board and get things going on their lead. That time it's no good for the Knights, and Muffet is getting ready to get her team going on their side of the floor. Rupena had a good first half, found a few shots to go down early. She finds De La Serna, but it's picked away from the Knights. Another story from that first half. Their defense has led to offensive opportunities in transition as they were able to capitalize on that in the second quarter. Let's see if they can do it with a deep two right here. That time no good, and it looks to be off of the legs of Charlie Warner and back over the Jaguars' way. Later on in that second quarter, it was the Knights that found a full court press defense that they were able to capitalize on as well in transition for some easy opportunities. Obviously, they weren't having to go the full length of the floor, but West Jordan still able to keep it within 13 here and obviously trying to cut into that deficit. Rupena is able to sneak around a high screen on the right side. It's not able to go, but smart play that time by De La Serna, who throws it off of the Knights as it keeps it here with the Jaguars here on the baseline. So Woolston will check in for Warner. Rupena looking to inbound. Lokeni's got it. Tries to get it out to Muffet, but it's stolen by Woolston. And she can't get the right-hand layup to go. We saw a lot of times in that first half, she was driving left. She'd like to use that underhanded right layup, but that time the straight right layup not able to go. It's a three for De La Serna as she gets it from the right wing and cuts into that lead, and it's going to be a quick timeout for the Knights as Coach Warner wants to talk things over with her squad. We'll take a quick timeout with him here on KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back to Lone Peak High School, as it was head coach Nancy Warner that calls another early timeout as they had their 13-point lead cut down to 10 with a right corner wing three from De La Serna. As the Jaguars still looking to keep this a game. It's a 10-point game as they faced a lot of turnovers thanks to this Knights defense. But the offense still hasn't quite found its rhythm in the half court for Lone Peak. They get their own rebound. It's back over to Warner. She'll cut right side, no good. Rebound that time by LeKenny. And now Rupena's going to control as they look to move once again. Muffet's got it, left side. She's going to go up to the rack and get fouled on her way. So that's where she really likes to go. She's going on that left side, trying to go up with her right hand, and she's been able to go to the charity stripe for, I believe, now her third time on that same move. It's confusing the Knights defense, and she's able to go to the free throw line and get some easy points for her squad. Trying to cut this to a single-digit game. And that time it's no good off the back iron.
In for the Knights, number 34, Kennedy Woolston.
Woolston will check back in for Warner. A lot of balanced scoring right now for the Knights, but obviously it's Giselle Muffet and Marley Rupena for the Jaguars that are keeping this thing going for West Jordan. Second one is good for Muffet. That'll decrease the deficit to 9. Now here's Lone Peak. Hooney Folau's back in the game for the Knights. It's Harness, who dishes it back out to Woolston, top of the key. She finds Pope, who's moving right. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. Harness now driving to her left, mid-range, no good. Rebounds fought for, and going the Jaguars' way as Pope can't corral it from De La Serna. So the Jaguars are controlling this tempo as we move closer and closer to this halfway point of the third quarter. 5:30 now left here in the third. De La Serna facing high defense from Folau. Loses her dribble, and she was trying to find Muffet moving to her right, but Giselle had other ideas, and it's going to be a turnover for the Jaguars. Once again, something that's plaguing them so far in this contest. And now Meilani Lau will check in, the junior forward for De La Serna, who besides that turnover was seeing some excellent minutes here in the third. Woolston can't corral this bounce pass on the right side, but now she corrals it. Pushes it left, it's Pope. And it's picked off by Rapena. Now she's gonna go one-on-one in transition. Right side, she'll take a contested jumper off the back side of the backboard, but it's Muffet going to her right and getting it to go. Giselle Muffet doing what she does best. Woolston tries to get a three, and Harness will go to her left, and she can't get the layup to go. 31-24, Jaguars still trying to cut into this lead as they've held the Knights scoreless here in the second half. Rupena thought about it too. She saw pressure, tried to pass it down low to Lokeni, who didn't expect the incoming pass, and it's once again another turnover for West Jordan. Woolston outright finds Folau. A lot of spacing here on this right side. Players congested. Pope's now going left. She'll take a deep two. That time's no good. I don't believe it was touched by anybody. And it's going the Jaguars' way, but the Knights are saying it was tipped. Refs will confer on baseline, and it will stay here with the Knights. More subs coming in for both squads as Warner will now check back in for Maddie Pope. And Caitlin Lekeny and McIntyre will check out. De La Serna comes back in for the Jaguars. Wide open three left side, no good that time from Harness. De La Serna comes right back in and starts controlling the boards once again. It's Lau going down into the paint. The bucket will be no good because she picked up her feet in the middle of the paint. You can see head coach Tia Lavea telling her team to watch their feet down low. Lone Peak will set up their half-court offense. Something they have yet to capitalize on is a lot of their points have come in transition in the fast break. But there's something that most fans are used to seeing from the Knights. It's a three from a Woolston. And that'll increase the lead back up to 10. Jaguars have had their opportunity as De La Serna finds her sweet spot here in the second half once again. Takes it right back to a 7-point game. Almost picked off by Rapena. Now she's playing some high defense, but she obviously needs some help. Doesn't get it, and Harness goes up for the layup, just dead center of the paint, can't get it to drop. Rapena finds a wide open Lekeny, quickly contested by Woolston. Ball's bouncing around. Warner's trying to grab it, still on the floor, and now it goes back to the Knights. But they quickly turn it over, and West Jordan then controls it. So lots of turnovers, and the Knights are looking to try and regain control of what has been a crazy third quarter. Knights have been held to 3 points. Meanwhile, the Jaguars with a quick 9. As we'll take a timeout alongside both of these squads. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back out to Highland, Utah, here at Lone Peak, as the Knights have seen their lead decrease just a tad here in the third quarter, as the Jaguars have been able to cut into what was once a 13-point lead down to 7 points. And that's all thanks to Tofi De La Serna, who's had 6 points here in the third quarter, both from a favorite spot of hers, that right wing three. But here come the Knights with that press court defense once again that was causing turnovers for the Jaguars, and it does so again. Folau now moving things faster for Lone Peak. Dishes it back out to Harness, who moves left. Woolston down low in the paint against De La Serna. Pass is corralled back up with the right wing, and Harness, beautiful move with her feet, just can't get the left side layup to find the bottom of the net. Jaguars now in transition. They've had a big problem with turnovers in today's game, and that stays consistent on that possession, but they're able to corral it. Good defense by Charlie Warner there on the right wing against Muffet. Rupena trying to find her spot there on the right side. She can't get it to go. Finds a screen from Lekeni, gets a right side floater to go up, but she just can't get it to go down. Here come the Knights. Transition, Woolston. Quick pass, back to her from the Knights logo for three. No good. De La Serna now in transition. The Jaguars looking to slow things up when they push. Try and set things up in the half court. Woolston expects the inbound pass and steals it. Another transition opportunity. Harness, right side, up and in. And that's what we've come to expect from this Lone Peak squad here in this contest, as they're really playing some aggressive defense and then capitalizing. As they do that once again, here comes Woolston all by herself, just like it's warm-ups, and it's in. The Knights now increase their lead back up to 11. And the Jaguars notice this, and they'll take a timeout. It's the Knights of Lone Peak, 38, and the Jaguars of West Jordan, 27. Coming out of that timeout called by head coach Julianne Tialavea, her first year as head coach of the West Jordan Jaguars. She was adamant in that timeout that this team is not out of this game, and they've shown for most of this quarter that they're willing to make this a fight. It's the Knights that have found their rhythm once again on the defensive side of the ball, that have allowed for offensive opportunities to increase the lead back to double digits. But the Jaguars were at one time able to cut it to 7. Muffet squeezes past the defense in half court, and she'll get an easy floater down low in the paint to take it back to a single-digit game. The Knights are seeing a fight now from this Jaguars team. Both of the wins for Lone Peak so far, they've scored over 70 points. Right now held to only 38. Can't get their first bucket to go, but Woolston finds her teammates up top. It'll be a deep 2 right corner from Pope. That's corralled by Woolston, and she'll pass it off to Warner for 3, who gets it to go. Lone Peak is clearly looking for opportunities from outside the arc, as a half-court heave is no good from Muffet. It's 41, Lone Peak 29, West Jordan. And we might be in for a doozy of the finish if the Jaguars can find a way to cut into this deficit into the fourth. Welcome back into KSL Sports Rewind as we get ready for the fourth quarter between the West Jordan Jaguars and the Lone Peak Knights for Utah girls varsity basketball. It's the Knights now with a 41-29 lead, as they were able to find their rhythm from outside the arc and in defense transition to help them regain a majority of the lead that they had at halftime. The Jaguars were able to cut into a lot of it thanks to some great looks from De La Serna from 3, and Muffet doing what she does best, as Giselle Muffet has an early 14 going into the fourth. Not quite so early anymore. But it's, of course, Kennedy Woolston, the star for the Knights. With her usual double-digit scoring, she has 17 as she forces a turnover from the Jaguars. The family of Woolstons is a family of ballers, and Kennedy is proving that once again here in the Knights' 4th game of the season. High pressure defense by Rupena as the Knights get it down low to Nordstrom. Going to her right, gets fouled on the attempt, and now she'll go to the free throw line for 2. So the spacing by the Knights looking better than it has for most of this game here in the 4th. And with both of these buckets, they can gain their largest lead of this contest, as the first one is able to tickle the twine. Second for Nordstrom is up and good as well. So now it's the biggest lead of the game now for Lone Peak as they lead at 43-29. Muffet trying to do what she does best, but Maddie Pope playing some great defense up on the right wing. Muffet picks up her dribble but finds Rupena back up top. She's going to go right behind the back. She likes that shot from the free throw line, but once again, great defense that time by Harness. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Muffet's looking to go, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Muffet. Excuse me, on Rupena. It's going to be on a screen that she tried to set for Giselle to get a shot off as the shot clock was going down, but it'll be a turnover instead because of the foul. Rupena now with her first foul of the second half, 3rd total. Knights looking to increase this lead once again. Warner deep left as the spacing continues to improve for the Knights. Now clustered on the right side, it's Nordstrom finding Woolston down low for an easy 2 on the right side. 45-29 now. McIntyre trying to go down low, ripped away by Nordstrom, but it goes right back to the Jaguars. West Jordan looking to struggle as they try and find their first basket, but the ball is getting tipped around once again and controlled by the Knights. Woolston with some quick strides finds Harness right side. She'll fake a 3. And they'll try and set things up. Warner pump fakes, drives right. Back out to Woolston to her left. Coach Warner's telling them to hold. Set up their offense once again in the half court. Knights are spaced out along the arc, but it's Nordstrom down low. Tries to go cross court to Woolston, but Muffet read it the entire way. They'll stay here with the Knights. 9 seconds on the shot clock as Harness will check out and Folau comes back in. As mentioned earlier, it's a lot of balanced scoring so far for the Knights, as everyone seems to be just around each other. Nordstrom can't find the 3-pointer to fall, but the ball is tipping around and it looks like it's going to be a jump. And it looks like it will be a jump that stays here with Lone Peak. So 45-29 is our score here with just under 6 minutes to go here in the 4th. Woolston will inbound. Nordstrom had that same look this entire quarter. She can't get it to drop, but she will go to the free throw line for the second time here in the 4th.
Foul committed by number 15, Aaron Lohani.
The sophomore Knight, Zuri Nordstrom, at the line once again. And she's able to get it to fall. Her older sister just left the Knights to go play at Cal Baptist this year as she continues her basketball career. And Zuri's little sister, Indy, who's a freshman, is also on the team. So it's just a whole family of Nordstroms here with the Knights. An 18-point lead now for Lone Peak. As Muffin is pressured once again, it's her and Rupena that are just finding that defense hard to find. But Rupena says, I'll make the most out of it, and gets an and-one opportunity off the right wing. Clearly, if the Jaguars are wanting to cut into this deficit and find any hope of coming out of here with a win, it runs through those two players. Rupena can't get the and-one opportunity to fall, but it'll be a lane violation against the Knights, and she'll get another crack at it. The senior guard is averaging 8 points a game coming into this one, and she's staying consistent so far. Second one, no good, and Woolston controls the rebound. Woolston out to Harness, who finds a cutting Nordstrom right side in transition. No Jaguar found her, and she made him pay. Here comes Giselle, cutting to her right and getting it to fall. Giselle with a quick 2 for West Jordan. But the defense will need to pick it up here for the Jaguars if they want to have a hope for cutting into this deficit. Pace has picked up dramatically, and Nordstrom's feeling it. And a heat check goes up and off the back iron. And here comes Rapena, transition right side. No good off backboard. And it looks like a foul will be called against McIntyre. It'll stay with the Knights to go back the other way.
Checking in for the Jaguars, number 21, Tony De La Serna.
And De La Serna will come back in for the Jaguars. And Huni Folau comes back in for the Knights. Just under 5 now here in the fourth. Second biggest lead for the Knights so far. They had a lead as big as 18, but now just 16. Woolston, right corner. Shot clock now at 10. Woolston can't get the bucket to go. She finds it back as it doesn't hit net. Now it hits rim, but a rebound by Folau, and the clock will reset. Woolston fumbles, but she'll go left. Now kicks it out. Nordstrom, another 3 attempted, no good. Ball is fought for and controlled once again by the Knights. Offensive rebounds are really helping them in this one as Nordstrom continues her streak in the fourth. Zuri Nordstrom once again helps the Knights tie their biggest lead of the game. Muffet trying to keep her team at least within some distance as De La Serna, another wing 3, this time from the left side as she gets it to drop. De La Serna's had an excellent second half. Harness in transition. Off back iron, no good. But once again, offensive rebound will go to the Knights' way. Lone Peak looking to set up their half-court offense. Harness picks up her dribble. Finds Folau. Back over to Woolston, right side. Nordstrom, who has the hot hand so far here in the second half, picks up her dribble. Tries to find Folau, does. Bounce pass, Woolston, right wing 3. No good, but another offensive rebound. How about a second attempt? And Woolston is heating up at just the right time here in the second half. She's up to 22 points here in the contest. Lead back up to 18, and West Jordan's going to try and call a timeout as they can probably do nothing but cut into this deficit to finish out the game. It's the Knights 54 and the Jaguars 36 here on KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back into a Friday night edition of KSL Sports Rewind. Nate Thatcher here as we get ready to see the finish of the Lone Peak Knights versus the West Jordan Jaguars here in girls varsity basketball. The Knights have been able to increase their lead as Muffet throws it away and the Knights control. And Kennedy Woolston has been finding her mark here in the second half. Looks like Lone Peak will be sending in their bottom of the bench to get some minutes. As it looks like Kaya Finsend and Siri Burgess, Naomi Chase are able to come in for this squad. Meanwhile, it's Warner who's at the free throw line and able to get the first one to go. Second one, no good. But they get the rebound, and it's up and in that time by Siri Burgess, the freshman. And now their biggest lead of the game at 21. Foul by Maddie Pope up top. Looked like she got hit in the face a little bit in her attempt to be a little bit more physical as she's holding her nose there. Seems a little bit shaken up, but staying in the game. And now Warner will check out as Liv Fotu checks in for the Knights, the junior guard. And Maddie Pope will check out after being hit. It'll be the sister of Zuri, Indy Nordstrom, another freshman coming in for the Knights. Muffet's got it, left wing, drives baseline, goes up, has contact, and now foul will be called as the rebound was tried to be corralled that time by Melani Lau, the junior forward.
Foul committed by number 11, Indy Nordstrom. Her first personal.
Indy called with her first foul of the game as the Jaguars look to inbound baseline. It's Lau. Finds McIntyre. Back out to Muffet for three. Over the rim, no good, but a bobbling rebound is corralled that time by Tagovailoa, but stolen away from the Knights. Here comes Lone Peak. It's Indy Nordstrom driving left, kicking back out. Vincent now passes it outside. Naomi Chase, right wing. Tries to get a screen, but then keeps it up top. Back out to Vincent. Now down low, it's Fotu. A lot of passing right now by the Knights, but the shot clock's going down. It's going to be Nordstrom driving, but can't find it. Body's on the floor. And a travel will be called as there was nothing she could do but just hold on to the ball as her feet shuffled.
Number 0, Marty Rupena, and number 14, Rita Tavita.
Rupena and Tavita will check in for the Jaguars, as both Tagovailoa and Lau will go back to the bench for West Jordan. So 57-36, a minute 30 left. Deep two for the Knights is up and down as Indy Nordstrom gets her first points of the game. Jaguars just looking to find something. It's Rupena, who's quickly double teamed down low. McIntyre goes to her left, finds Rupena, who thought about a jump shot, but instead drives right and is fouled that time by Liv Fotu.
Foul committed by number 4, Olivia Fotu. Her first personal.
Now, usually for West Jordan in their first few games of the year, it's been all Giselle Muffet, but this time around, Rupena has been able to add to the scoring as she's now up to 11 with that free throw, along with De La Cerda, who's had an excellent second half, also in double digits at 10. Rupena in a little bit of foul trouble. Obviously, there's only a minute left, but she's earned 4 in this contest, something she's still working on early in the season, as the second one also is able to go down. So 59-38, but no one coming back for the inbound pass for the Knights. Naomi Chase luckily able to come back as Jaguars aren't looking to press too far on defense here in the final minute of the contest. Muffet looking to pick off the pass, but a little too physical, and she's called for the foul. It'll be Lone Peak at the line for 2. Believe it or not, that's Giselle Muffet's first personal foul of the game. She's able to be physical throughout this contest without getting into foul trouble. And even with 16 points, she is 3.5 points shy of her season average. First free throw able to go. And second as well, the shooting by Lone Peak is excellent as Indy Nordstrom is able to add to her point total. And Rupena can't get the jumper to go. It'll be controlled by the Knights. Now back with the Jaguars. Here comes Muffet in transition, going to her right and fouled. Heavily pressed that time by Finson and Naomi Chase, but the foul will be called on the latter. Muffet looks to increase her point total, get closer to that season average. Having a stellar senior year so far with this squad. Just looking to get that first win, which won't happen tonight. But a great effort tonight by Muffet. And she's able to get both of her free throws to fall and bring it to within 21. Knights still looking to score with this bench unit as we're under 30 now in the game. Driving two is up and off the back of the backboard by Kaya Finson. And Lone Peak now really getting into their stride. They were held to some low points, but they've really turned it on here in the fourth. De La Serna bobbles it, but she's able to add upon her total and get a 2 down low in the paint. And that will do it for today's contest. Between the Lone Peak Knights and the West Jordan Jaguars, it's the Knights who are able to get their 3rd win of the season with a final score of 63-42. Knights have now won 2 in a row after going 1-1 in their first 2 contests. Their only loss to Bountiful, where they had a 5-point lead at halftime, but they just weren't able to score in the second half. It looks like they're really able to get in stride. As I mentioned in both of the wins before this one, they were able to score at least 70 points. Things weren't looking so hot for them offensively, but then they were able to get things going and get close to that 70-point total there in the second half. For the Jaguars, they now fall to 0-3 on the season, but they're able to give the Knights a really good fight, especially as the Knights are favored in 6A basketball, and the Jaguars are only a 5A competition team. So that'll be it for Lone Peak versus West Jordan. Coming up next, it'll be the boys' side as Lone Peak will host the Syracuse Titans coming up in a few minutes. I'm Nate Thatcher, and this is KSL Sports Rewind.
The boys teams of Lone Peak and Syracuse face off in 20 minutes.
Okay.